Yeah, ne? You know, there are times where they're saying beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, and everyone, like, whatever English says about that. But there are times where really beauty has to lie in everyone's eyes, because, hey, yeah, ne? This paint, I think they call it Patagonia Red Metallic or something from Mercedes. And I have to say, when this vehicle is dressed in this paint, it comes out quite nicely, because when I look at it, it's very difficult to lock this thing and just go without actually looking back. Even when they're like, sometimes you're a little bit embarrassed to look back because there are people around you. You end up just finding a way to just, you know, just peep a little, because, yeah. You know what? Welcome to the channel. It's when I appreciate that you're here with me. Today, we have the Mercedes-Benz CLE 300 4MATIC, which means it's 4 paws when it's running. It's running on all 4 wheels. But you know what? We'll talk about that more, you know, on the way and everything else, because we're still going to hit the road. But I just want to talk a little bit about this because, you know, I'm sure that by now you've heard that this now is replacing both the C-Class Coupe and the E-Class Coupe, because that's what they've done here. That's why you see that it's a little bit longer, because it slots just right between the normal C-Class and the E-Class, even with the length, because this one is measuring around what I think 4.85 meters, because the E-Class is 4.95, I think, and then the C-Class is 4.75. So you can see that literally they were just putting like 100 millimeters in between. But when I'm looking at this, the design and everything else, man, coupes don't necessarily make sense, but they don't have to make sense. That's just my view, because if it makes sense, something doesn't make, like, something, I don't want to say something doesn't make sense, because there are things that are making sense. If you want something bigger, you will get an E-Class in this case. If you want something compact and so on, you will get the C-Class. But in this case, you don't have to make sense of this purchase, because look at it. You know what, let me show you around before we hit the road. So I just tell you this and that about it, then we're gonna hit the road and talk about it more in terms of performance and everything else. Let's do this thing. All right, so here we are, and you can see right here that I didn't miss when it comes to the looks of this thing, because when you look at this thing, I like the fact that there are angles where it looks a little bit like that Mercedes GT. Like if I stand somewhere here, you'd think that it's like that Mercedes GT, but there are angles that will show you that actually this thing is a big vehicle, because as much as it's a coupe, there's a lot that I like about it, especially when it comes to space inside and so on, because when it comes to the wheelbase, it's the same as the C-Class really, at around I think 2.85 meters, so that's C-Class level, right? And when you come to the front, there are C-Class designs that you can see here and there, so you can see some bits and pieces of this baby that came out of the C-Class and the E-Class, with the way it's sloping down a little bit in front, because it talks that C-Class language. But you can see with the front lights in this case that they are something else, because it talks to just how this thing is sloping from the front all the way to the rear in this case. But when I look at it here, the stars are continuing. They didn't really change much when it comes to the grille. It's not something that you haven't seen before, together with this bumper, because this is the Mercedes design that you will get when it comes to the AMG packages and so on. And when it comes to CLE in this case, you get them in the AMG packages. I didn't see that you can get it in Avant-Garde. I don't think it's there, because this is meant to be a little bit more sporty, the way it looks, everything else. This one is also spec'd with the black package. You know, when it comes to Mercedes, this thing, I think it started around 1.3 million, somewhere there, 133 million, and then you go up with the spec and everything else. You can spec this thing close to 1.9 million, if I remember, or just under 1.9. But am I complaining? I will tell you on the way about that. Let's just keep on walking around it. All right, so the silhouette of this thing is where it shows its sheer size. Like I said, this thing is almost 5 meters, man. This thing is long. And that's where you start realizing that, you know what, I understand now when it comes to size. Because when you look at it in front, it looks a little bit like almost normal. But when you start going to the side, you look at the size of these rims, because these ones are optional rims as well. You will see that they're 20-inch rims in this case. 275 at the back, 235 in front. So that is made to manage the sportiness on the road. We'll talk more about that in terms of how it handles and everything else. When it comes to the rear, you can see that they're continuing with that language, that Mercedes language, coupe design style, that GLC coupe kind of design. When it comes to the lights, the way it flows as well, even in the middle there the way that it appears as if it's one strip of light, but it's not necessarily one, because that part in the middle right here, you can see it's separate. It's just a black bit here. But when I look at it overall, yeah, maybe you can say adding a spoiler and so on. But for me, the smoothness of it right now, because it doesn't have a lot of creases, you can see the line that is just this line right here, but everything else, it's almost so smooth. So it gives you that coupe style look, man. And I don't know how you think or how you look at it and what you think about it, but for me, man, this is one of the best looking things out there. Let me jump inside and show you more about it. Yeah, you see why I don't like shooting like when the sun is up like this sometimes. It's because of all this sun that is disturbing me. You can see that the belt feeder is retracting there, because now it's thinking that maybe if someone wants to do this, they don't have to struggle. So you can see it's a 4-seater right here. And yeah, this is real leather. It's white, or whatever color that they call this thing. I'll put it on the screen. That's one of the drawbacks that I have with it. But when you get inside, you can see that there is actually space even for adults right here. Just that the headroom is where maybe you might have a problem as an adult who is a little bit tall. But if you're like 1.6, 1.7, I think you will manage. Let's bring this seat backwards, because it will do this automatically. And it's a little bit in front. That is the space that I am driving on. Some of the no, it came back a little bit, but you can see that actually it does have space, just that I'm sitting at an angle almost of a 90-degree kind of. But overall, I do not necessarily complain. I can travel in here a little bit claustrophobic because the roof now is sloping right here, but I can't really complain much. Let me just go back here. You will see that you do have air vents here to control that cocoonness that you're feeling in here. But overall, man, the design, I can't really say there's anything different that you haven't seen before from Mercedes in this case, because this is like a C-Class design. Do you think they should have used the E-Class design rather? Because other people maybe feel like if they could have done that, it was going to be like something else, especially at the price point that is coming in. But am I mad at it? I'm not that mad, because this design, man, as much as we are used to it, but this thing is amazing. You'll see that this one has this like carbon fiber trim of some sort inside, so that is an optional extra as well. You will see that this thing is packed with features, but you have to pay for all those. That's one thing that you can't run away from. So to get out of this thing, I just push this seat is gonna go forward a little bit, and then I need to come out. That's what you do. Place this seat back, and voila, you are winning. It goes back in this case. But you know, when it comes to this, of course, you do have electrically adjusted seats when you do that, and then it's gonna go back. Don't embarrass me now. There are people here, man. There are people. So yeah, that's what you get when it comes to the design elements. It's mostly C-Class, man. I can't take time talking about that. We'll talk about it on the road. So for now, you'll see, of course, as it does with any coupe, it does that window thingy a little bit. Those who know this thing, they will tell you that it's about the physics, because then the pressure might be too much for you if that window doesn't go down and you're closing and you find that maybe it's pushing other things. Yeah, let's just get in and hit the road. Nope, we missed something, and here's the key. It's a typical new Mercedes key, double press, and then you'll see that it has auto tailgate in this case. Is it necessary? I don't think so, but it doesn't have to make sense. This is a coupe, man. What I don't like maybe about it is that this part here, the way it is, it's skewed in such a way that it's not easy for you. If you're putting something like a cube or something like a box or something like that, it's difficult for you to put like longer boxes, as much as they could have fit in the boot overall. But hey, you know what? You live with it. This is a coupe. It doesn't have to make all the sense when it comes to practicality. Under the boot right here, you'll see that there's still space, and then there's the shopping cart right there from Mercedes. You know about that. It goes deep in there, and this supports that size that you're getting outside, that almost 5-meter size. And overall, in this case, I think there is a number of things that you can pick up in there when you're looking at it overall. Let me close that, and then we're about to hit the road now. We are about to hit the road. You know what? It's getting late. Let's hit the road, and I'll talk to you when I get somewhere halfway. Let's go. Thank you for the seatbelt, Mercedes, and yeah, let's start this. I'm just outside Diepkloof by the N14. There's a total garage just there, just outside. And for me, this is probably one of the most therapeutic drives that you can do in Gauteng. Let's just get on the road and then we'll talk more about this. It didn't take me time from Pretoria to actually get here. Okay. And I think if you're having that day where you just want to wind down, you know, think about life generally, I would recommend that you do this trip. You just do it from Pretoria, Mahali side, then you go back just by the N4 maybe. Just stay safe because we've had a lot of things about the N4 and so on. Let me close this sunroof because it's giving me some wind noise here and you're gonna blame the car for things that it doesn't do. Otherwise, guys, this is the 300 as I've indicated just a while back in the intro, which means we are sitting with a 2-liter mild hybrid system for the 8V mild hybrid in here. It's not necessarily a big battery or anything like that. It's basically for the integrated starter generator, which gives you boost when you want to overtake, when you're picking up, and it's giving you that kind of EV boost of some sort. I do have a little bit of a quarrel with it, I'll explain that. But in here, of course, we do have 190 kilowatts. That's a lot. 400 Newton meters of torque, and that ISG system, it gives you a boost of around 17 kilowatts and 200 Newton meters when you want to punch it and overtake, which you can't complain about that. I mean, we've experienced this in the C-Class, we've experienced this in the GLC, in other Mercedes vehicles as well. We've spoken about it. You can check those reviews in terms of the detail and so on. And right now, let me put it on eco because this is a petrol. But what I like about it is that when you're on the highway like this and you want to save fuel, you would see that once you put it on eco, it can actually push this vehicle, propel it even further, especially when the slope is going a little bit down. It's not your typical just leave the throttle and then it will just roll. No, you can feel that it's something is actually pushing the vehicle as much as it's coasting. I'm going to try and do it now on this slope that is going down so that you can see how it behaves. I've indicated this, but it was in the diesel, and right now it's gonna do it. You see, it's on 0 in terms of the rev counter, but it's moving adequately, and that's the thing that you will find impressive when it comes to the fuel consumption, because this thing, if you're on the highway like this, 66 liters, I think, it can do a lot more kilometers than a lot of cars that are pushing this kind of kilowatts. And that's the refinement that sells when it comes to these German vehicles. The engineering in here is something else, because the CLE starts with the 200, which you will get just above 1,260,000 rands, and in that you do get the 150 kilowatts and 320 Newton meters of torque, which are more similar to the C-Class that we drove, the C200 that we drove a while back. You can check that video as well. One of the best videos that I've done in terms of the enjoyment of the vehicle, because I've done it on this road as well. On this road again, I was here on this road with the Raptor as well, the black one. You can go check that one out. But listen, right now, this is where really I'm getting the therapy. This is my version of, you know what, I need to This is my vision of that. Other people do other things. They play games. Some drink alcohol, do this, do that. This is mine. So yeah, that's what it is. Oh, this World Track, man. These old World Tracks, they didn't sell a lot of them, but they look quite cool. Every time I see one, I'm like, it looks quite cool, because it was not something that we are used to. But hey, back. Sorry. We're in the Mercedes right here. I was saying, you start with the C200, then CLE 200. Then you get into this one, which is the 300. And then, of course, if you want something so sporty that you're not just gonna be out here and be as cool as I am right now with eco mode and so on, you get the 53. And in there, 330 kilowatts, that's a beast. It looks menacing. You should check that out wherever it is on YouTube and so on. It looks amazing, because like I've said before, that this probably is one of the best things on our roads right now. This is a head turner. It's turning heads so much that you'd feel embarrassed that people are even looking at you. They ask themselves, who's in that sometimes? And you're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, man, can Mercedes? Yes, yeah, come on. Oh, I mean, it's not mine in English. But here's the thing, right? Do you buy coupes to make sense? Because that's something that I was thinking, especially when I was showing you around to say, then now the back, this is the space, this is this and that. Because these coupes, to me, because there are cars that can give you almost the same performance, the same feel when it comes to drive. What are you doing when, what is this guy getting? Cushy. Hi, man. They can give you the same feel in terms of performance and everything else. You can get the sedans, right? Which you will get, like 4 doors. No one's gonna be complaining that I don't have space, I can't get in, I can't get out. When you get this, you don't have to rationalize your decision. That's just my view. It's like getting a 3 Series and a 4 Series. You know that for someone who's getting a 4 Series, they're not really worried about people who are always going to be in the back and so on. That's what I think about this. Because it's easy not to rationalize the existence of this vehicle, especially when you think about the fact that there is an E-Class that probably costs the same. When you're looking at the prices, they're just literally just crisscrossing each other around 1.3. You spec them out, you're easily going to get all the way up to 1.7, 1.8, close to 1.9 million. That's what you're getting in these vehicles. And that's the thing. When you look at this and you look at the E-Class and the C-Class in this case, you're going to be like, yeah, C-Class is a compact sedan. I think about it, it's not as big. Maybe I'm looking for something bigger, and you look at this and you're like, man, come on, I'm not going to be able to put people at the back, and so on and so on. That's the thing. You don't have to think of it like that. Just get the E-Class if you want something bigger. That's just my view. But if you want something that you're going to take out on a Sunday like this, just drive. And you know what? You're not worried about space, anything else. It looks amazing when you look at it. When you get out and get into the fuel station, you look back at it and you're like, I made the right choice. I made the right choice just by looking at it. And looks do matter to people who buy into this. This is about style. This is about how you're feeling. It doesn't have to make practical sense for it to exist. I mean, that's one thing that I like about it. But besides that, it's not ignored. It's not that Mercedes has ignored the space, because like I said, the wheelbase in this case almost the same as the C-Class. In fact, it's the same, 2850, and you do get sufficient space. Just that, of course, because this door is long, and so that's something that you're going to have to live with for people who are going to get into the rear. And you do not get the middle seat in here, because this is a 4-seater, and you can see that it's not necessarily made for that. It's for you and your partner, or for you alone, cruising out on a Sunday like this, and you know where your money went, because it makes you feel that, you know what, this is what I need for therapy. This is exactly what I need for therapy. Man. Jesus is king. That's what that board is saying. But I'm also saying that, what else does it say? Put on the body armor of God. Yep. That's just about it, man. I'm about to get to Mulder's Drift. I'm in Mulder's Drift now. This is like Mohale Gardens and stuff. There's a lot of nice stuff to do here, by the way. Of course, I can't get in now. I'm about driving right now. I'm not going to stop and show you around and so on. But this is Mulder's Drift. And I'm pushing now towards Cradle of Humankind. Then I'm going to go towards Harties. Then go back home. that's basically how I do it normally. And when I get home, I'm refreshed, I'm revitalized, I'm all those things. So I'm just gonna push a little bit right now. I'll talk to you a little bit later, just on the features, everything that it offers. You know, we will talk more about that. I'm not gonna take too much time. Hey, don't scare me like that when Navarra. Hey, yes. Kettlestone Mall. This mall wasn't always here. I don't remember when they actually constructed this mall. If you check my older videos, you'd see that it was in here, I think. Hey, we've been at it for some time. Hey, guys, I appreciate you so much, man. We've literally just hit, I think, around 21,000 subscribers now. Sorry, guys, this is 21,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. And I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm gonna turn here, head to Makhali's side, and we'll talk more. Thank you. So, you know, the reason I don't like shooting on that stretch basically is that the sun is just in front of the camera like this, and yeah, frustrates me sometimes. It's like now, you see, I'm turning straight at it, and sometimes you guys are complaining, oh, I can't see in the car, I can't. So I'm trying to avoid that. That's why sometimes I like shooting late. But listen, so far I've just been cruising. It's been a good cruise, should I say. It's a good cruiser, and it's supposed to be. Thank you. What is this? Is this a stop sign or what's happening here? No, it is not. Man, I don't like this where there's a bit of gravelish stuff, because now the tires are going to be dirty, and probably gives me a good time to talk about these tires, because they are this thin. You have to be careful when you are on a stretch that is not as clean and it's bumpy, there's potholes and all those things. You always need to be very careful because they are very thin. I mean, at the back is 275, 30, it's 30 like this. I understand it's 30 of 275, but it's still quite thin. And here in front, I think it's what, 235, 35 as well, 20 inch. So these tires are quite thin. They're low profile tires, and I have to say Goodyear has done a great job because they're not as loud. I have to also applaud Mercedes as well, because at the same time the insulation in here is quite good. I mean, most of this stuff that normally we know they're creaking, it's just this. I mean, you can't avoid the creaks here and so on. Those ones you can't avoid. But even this floating thing here, I said it in the E-Class, that it feels like they attended to this stuff, because in the C-Class it didn't really feel the same way. There were some creaks here and there that were not pleasing. Something behind me here. That were not as pleasing. But in the E-Class and in here, it feels a little bit solid. Yes, they're still there, because you can't have a floating plastic like this that doesn't creak a little bit. That's just not gonna happen, really. So I can't complain much about that. Would I say it doesn't? Or rather, if I pay 1.5 million for this vehicle, I would be worried about this. Honestly, I wouldn't be worried, because I understand the material used in this case. But everything else, all the touch points, man, they use the right leather, which is very much informing how premium feeling this is overall. So right now, if you were here on a Sunday in here with your 1.5, 1.6 vehicle from Mercedes like this, I would say so far, you're getting your value's worth. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's a lot of arguments out there about these vehicles, how expensive they are, and so on and so on. But let's not lie to each other here. We grew up with different dreams. I'm an advocate for budget. But when it comes to this, that's not one thing that I'm going to talk about, because it's not even made for someone who's worried about budget like that. None of you who's worried about budget should be considering this. Don't try to rationalize the existence of coupes like this and their prices and so on. Whether you go to Porsche, whether you go to Bentley, there's a lot. And we shouldn't forget that as much as Mercedes is accessible as should I say entry luxury vehicle in this case, because you can still get your A classes and all these things, let's not forget that in the Mercedes lineup, there are vehicles that are made for people that are earning, you know what, the 1%ers in this case. So this is not necessarily for the 1%ers, but at the same time, you need to understand that we're not always going to be talking budget whenever we're talking cars like this, your Mercedes and so on and so on. That's just my view right now. And because of that, I need to put it on spot and try to remember why. Okay, I need to pass this car, number one. Number two, yes. That's what you need to remember why you got this thing. When you get on roads like this, that sometimes can be twisty, sometimes can be this, that, you're pulling it. Yep. And you know why you're here. You see, when you're already on the move, because I think on paper they said this thing can do 6.2 to 100, but I like it when I'm already on the move, because you can really feel that boost coming in when you're pulling it. It gives you a little bit of, I'm forgetting that I can do this. When you're putting your foot down, it holds back a bit, and once it kicks, that's where you start feeling the fun. And because my brother, and because of the tires, the way they are, when you're finding curves like this and you're doing like your 120 and so on, you don't feel scared at all to say, you know what, I know it can do this, and I can do this as well. So man, we'll talk about this more. I'm at a point where I'm deciding, should I go that way, because I'm worried about the sun now. I don't think I should go that way though. But let me stop here a little bit and just take the sun in before I hit the road again. Let me stop here a little bit. Alright. Hey, we're gonna do this sport mode thing again. Let's not worry ourselves. Let's not stress ourselves too much. So while we're on the side of the road like this, I thought maybe let me tell you quickly about the specs that are in here, because I did the configurator and I spec'd it to my liking. It ended up at around 1,828,000 rands. So yeah, that's quite a lot. But listen, here's the thing, right? Because there's quite a number of things that come standard that maybe you don't even need to add. With that 1,336,000 rands, you actually get a lot of stuff, especially some of the stuff that we don't expect to be standard from the Germans. You know how it goes, right? But the MG line, interior and exterior, I've already indicated this, but you get them standard. That is already a win. You don't need to add a lot of stuff afterwards, because like you can see with this steering wheel, for example, this comes standard. The exterior as well, the MG one that comes here, again, you don't need to add anything there. Another thing that probably will be surprising is that it comes with memory seats as standard, which is not something that you get all the time in this case. But to get them ventilated and heated like this, of course, you're gonna have to pay a little bit extra for that. And I'm not gonna talk about Android Autos and all these things. This thing that I'm always complaining about, like USB package and so on, I see it's standard in here. Well done for that, because again, it needs to be standard. Wireless charging, again, that is something that is standard. Thank you for that. I think I can move now to what exactly is extra here, because there's a lot that we added. on this one. You can actually get the night package, which is here. You can see outside it looks dark in some areas. You can see even in the light clusters, the mirrors in this case are black, and yeah, it has black bits and stuff. It looks quite cool from that perspective when you look at this black rims as well. Then the Premium Plus package, which is around 142,000 rands, it adds a lot of stuff. That's the one that I think if you add it, you can leave everything else. That's just my view around that, because it comes with the ambient lighting plus. You'll see that now it's illuminating even in the events and so on. Then the Burmester sound system, we can't miss that. It's either you pay 26,000 rand separately for it, or you get it as part of this package, which is bringing out 17 speakers, 660 watt sound system. We're going to play it, of course, you know that that's going to happen. And then we're going to go down to digital extras when it comes to map and everything else. You'll see here it's augmented reality and so on. Again, you can add that. I think MBUX augmented reality on its own is around 9,000 rand. Then digital lights, which is matrix LEDs from Mercedes as well. Then you get the head-up display, which is one of the best that I've seen in the market, with the map that is coming out on the screen. I don't know if the camera can show it properly there. And then the keyless go, it's not supposed to be an optional extra, by the way. Illuminated door sills by the here. This one, they're illuminated, of course. And then the exterior, you get this rims 20-inch for 17,000 rands. You get what am I saying now? You will also get this paint for 34,000 rands if you want anything else that is metallic. You know, these paints that are looking so nice outside and so on. But you know what? I'm not sure if you need to pay so much for the paint. You will decide. Then the trailer coupling, if you want it, of course, it's 22,000, but I don't think it's necessary for a coupe unless if you want to carry some stuff in this case. Then you will see that in here, you also get the carbon fiber trim. I like this one that comes in at around 22,000 rands. Climatized front seats, like I said, 17,000. Yeah, this Napa leather, man, is probably something that I'm not sure about it, because it looks nice, but 60,000 rands, yeah, that's something else. Then if you go down to get the safety driving assist, in this case, the driving package, in this case, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, centering, it can drive itself in a way. So you will be paying around 45,200 for that. And then if you want the engineering package, you will pay another 44,500 rands. In this case, that's what you'll get. Here, it doesn't have engineering package because it comes with the sport suspension. We'll talk about it just now. But overall, I think you will pay around 1.6 if you want to spec it so nicely and you want to get as much as you get and enjoy it as much as you can on the road like this. But you know what? Let's just hit the road again, talk about it more. We're going to put it on sport mode, enjoy the road. We're going to turn there, go this way, head towards Artis, enjoy ourselves with this thing, man. Let's do that. Thank you once again for the seat belt. Let's hit it before it gets too late. Close the sunroof. We said we're going to push you now to sport. There you go. There's no car behind us. Why are you blowing so high? I didn't put it on drive. Okay. So like I said, we are dealing with Hi, Mantanru, why didn't you open it close, Khat? Okay guys, like I said, it does have a sport suspension which is damping a little bit. I don't know if I'm feeling that much difference because it's attuned for comfort for some reason, despite it looking sporty and feeling sporty and so on. It's more on the comfort side for me. Oh, the kick that it gives when it does this. And yeah, man, it's only here and there where you can start feeling that, you know what, it's actually, I can feel the road more, even the road noise. It's not always that you'll feel like that, but sometimes when you're on a rough road, even if it's not bumpy and so on, you can feel that actually it's on the sporty side, especially when you put it on sport. But once you put it on comfort, it glides quite nicely for a low profile tire. I've said this before on the other side, but right now when you're driving it out here and you find curves and so on, this is where I feel that now you're starting to feel your money's worth, honestly, because it hacks the road quite well. And that's the advantage with those rear tires that are like this thick. That's the advantage with them. You don't need to worry about the curves and so on. And again, this thing is not actually quite high. It's probably the lowest of the normal Mercedes vehicles, because I think it's around 1.4 meters in height. And when it comes to the width, overall with the mirrors, it's around 2 meters or so, which supports everything that you need for the curves. The steering wheel, you can see it's well calibrated, man. You can never go wrong with Mercedes steering wheels. And I enjoy this on the road like this. I knew that it's probably made for this, and this is why then we need to be on roads like this to actually feel what this is all about. A typical Sunday afternoon like this, and you just, come on, man, come on. And it's really not lazy, this thing. I can't do crazy amount of speeds, especially when we are together like this. I need to respect you, of course. And that thing was saying something else, and the traffic sign assist is saying something else. That's why I don't like this thing sometimes. And if I try to turn it off right now, well, that is not what it's saying there. It captures the previous speed that it recorded wherever, and then now you have to live with it in front of you like that, and it's flashing. Let's see our fuel consumption. Okay, from reset, 8.7 liters, more than 300 kilometers done. Today, 9.5. We've done around 124 kilometers thus far. Not bad. It's almost 6 o'clock now. This is our optimal time to shoot, because then the sun is not a problem at all. Look at how this thing is taking this curve, man. This is what it's all about. This is it. Beautiful scenery. You don't need to have like a big, you need something that makes you feel that we're together, you know. I don't need to talk all the time, because we need to take this in, you know. I did this road with the Black Raptor. If you want to check something that is a little bit loud on this road, you can go check that one out. Big pothole, man. Yeah. Yes. See, this is what we mean when you say it doesn't need to make sense from practicality to say I need to have my bags and all the kids in here and so on. You buy this, and you buy the E-Class as well, or the V-Class, so that you can come with your family. But today, this is when you take this out, they must know that you're not coming with them. Just taking your partner, your wife, and then they know already that when you are packing bags and you're getting in this, you're not calling them. You're not going with anyone. It's just you and your person. Ah, man. It's not loud. Yeah, you could do with the 53, but it's still doing everything that I would need to do with a coupe, a grand tourer for the road. These potholes are so big and these tires are like, so I must focus. I must keep my down there. How did they get this insulation so right? Oh, I wish this is not a pothole because that thing is not. They got it so right, man. The engine, I can't complain about this engine noise. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't feel like it's working too hard. Thanks to them for using the 2 liter and not the 1.5. I just left Gauteng going to Northwest. Oh my God, I'm in Northwest. So thank God that they use the 2 liter, and the ISG is doing a great job to actually propel this thing so that the engine doesn't need to work hard even when you're overtaking. That's the nice thing about this whole thing, that the engineering in here is actually quite good. Love that. Love that. Don't like following trucks. They have a tendency of throwing stones at cars. But there's another one coming this way, so we can't pass. You know what? I'm not gonna pass right now. But the scenery this side, man, that's why I love this side. Just to take things in, you know, come back refreshed. I'm sure there's a solid line, as much as it's not showing because I don't see jack on the other side. Let's hit it. I think we are good to go. Thank you, Mercedes. I can't do more than that. When am I getting to Harties anyway? I need to get there quite quickly because I'm not going to talk the whole way. It's not even possible. Otherwise, this video is going to be so long. There's a Porsche behind me, probably thinking that I'm trying to race or something. I'm not doing that with you, bro. I know you are faster. I didn't even see it behind me. It just came out of nowhere. Go! Hey, yeah, you see, you don't need sense to get cars like that and rationalize the price and everything else. There's no need for that. You just do your thing. At least there they know that you're not even coming with anyone when you get into that. Oh, man. someone once said, you know what, when you're driving, just hit it, and even if you go beyond the legal speed, whatever that is, we will bail you out. And I was like, guys, I know you can't bail me out. We love each other like that, but guys, hey, there's a lot to do, there's a lot to explain afterwards. So yeah, we're about to get to Harties, right? We're about to, or should I take the R512 back that way? Maybe I should. Then I don't have to get to it. Let me pull first. Aha! I know this thing is not scared to touch 6,500 to 7,000 RPM. It is not scared, and it is not complaining at that. I can imagine what the 53 will be doing in this case. Yeah, you know what? I'm loving this. It reminds me of the C200. It wasn't the best or anything like that, but it was a good drive. It was a very good drive. And this is one of those. And this one is even giving you more. It's showing its prowess because the road noise, interior noises, everything else, the rattlings, minimal, all these things. And that's the thing that probably makes me to just say, Mercedes, I understand why you gave us this vehicle. If I rationalize it from budget, from the perspective of maybe if I needed to get something else and so on, I think I'm not gonna go to Harties, guys. Let me say, I don't know, but I'm going to the right. I'll take the N14 back to Pretoria. I don't want to take the N4 right now. It's already late. Are you turning or what is happening? Honda Civic VTEC. Hi, hello. Guys, I think what's happening? Why are there rocks here? Hi, bo. I think, guys, you know Harties. A lot of you know Harties. This is a three-way stop sign these days. That means I can go, V-Class, what is it? V-Class or what is it? The V2? These days you never know. Oh, it's a V-Class, this one, I think the V250. So yeah, you know Harties, those that know Harties. This is the R512. It's gonna go back that way, and it will be taking you towards, what is this? Centurion side on the N14 that way, and so on and so on. So that's what you can do once again. If you don't want to get into Harties, because on days like this, for example, I don't really want to be in Harties, but I was going to do it for you, for you. But it's all right, man. I don't think we need to go to Harties now. It's already late anyway. So what was I talking about, by the way? You know, I like jumping up and down. And I need to close up. I know we love being on the road like this, but at some point we have to cut it. Because we still gonna do a night review. I don't know which one is gonna come first, either this one or the night review. I'm gonna say this is a vlog because by now I've been talking so much and gibberish at that, not necessarily car related stuff. So because of that, we're gonna say this is a vlog. It's nice when you have a vlog because you don't have to think about, hey, this is how this thing was scripted and so on and so on. Guys, if I said something that you think is not right, you know you'll tell me in the comments. But here is my overall feel about this vehicle. Is it rational? If you're buying it and you don't have any other car, I don't think so. I think this is not one of those vehicles that you get and you don't have another car, unless if maybe you are not a family person and it's just you and your partner. From that, I would think that it's okay to actually get this because you're not going to be putting a lot of people in the car and so on and so on. So from that perspective, you don't have to stress or worry about space. But if you're about space, this is a stop sign. Come on. At least there's nothing there. You don't have to worry about the space and so on. Let me put this thing on comfort, man, so that we can be comfortable and close this thing up. You don't have to worry about spaces and so on. But if you are worried about space, I think it's a no-brainer. Get the E-Class. That's it. Because then you need something bigger with a bigger boot, something that is spacious inside, and you know your kids and whoever can play in it and so on. This is not about that. This is about us, you know, intimacy. Us with someone here, like my wife, you know. I don't even have my ring today, but I have a wife, guys. So that's what I think about it. And I don't need to rationalize it in terms of pricing as to whether it's a good price or not. People who are buying into this, they don't really care about that. They care about, you know, it's like when you have your Porsche, like the one that was passing us here. I don't think that guy is worried about how much it costs and so on. He grew up thinking, I need something like that, and I'm gonna get it. That's what normally happens. That's it. They've done that, they bought that. And that's what I think about coupes, by the way. Your 4 series, I mean, a person can also get a 3 series and be okay, run it with the family and so on and so on. But right now, I don't need to rationalize it. Like I said, this is amazing. I'm enjoying this. And from that, I understand why it's like this. Let's go to Lancerio. Is that Polo? Ah, Polo. I thought you were going. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so like I was saying now. Okay. Thought I'm hearing something. You know, I'm busy getting on there's construction there. I don't like that because you might just catch a nail, and then once you catch that, it's chai, especially when it comes to this vehicle. So yeah, I think I've concluded in bits and pieces. You've had my piece. This is what you need on roads like this, twisty roads, a day that you're just gonna wind down, you know, no stresses, nothing else. And guys, I don't think there's any reason for me not to say not to. Yeah, guys, I don't think there's any reason not to buy this thing. Right now, I understand why it's here. For those that maybe are thinking otherwise, it's because maybe they are not necessarily the target market for these kind of vehicles. And oh my God, there's a lot of dust and rocks and stuff. But once again, thank you for doing that for us. So thank you guys for being here with me today. Anything else that I didn't mention or I didn't cover properly, we'll probably even talk about it in the night review. I just wanted to do a road trip, a little bit of a road trip with you. Then you can see how this vehicle performs. And the rest, you know how it goes. What you can take out of what I said today, take the price out of the window. If you want this, you go buy it. Because maybe you have a Vivo somewhere, or you have a Fiesta like myself, and you just want something that's irrational. You know, when in Tonga they're saying Swafana or something like that. Like I get 2 million. Like I need, like, I don't need to rationalize this decision. That's how I feel about this thing. And overall, you can still put more people in here, because I had my family in here. The child seat, I did have it at some point. My wife behind me as well. It was still okay. It was spacious. At some point, we had everyone in here. The 4 of us were in here. And I didn't struggle with space. It's just that getting in and out is always going to be an issue. But even with my driving position, it's not necessarily a big issue. The boot is enough. You can put enough bags. If you have 2 kids, like small kids, and your wife or your partner in this case, you can do whatever you want to do. You can still do a lot more with this vehicle, actually. With that said, guys, I think it's getting late. I want to push. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Otherwise, this video is going to be way too long, and I'm not going to like that when I review it, because I'm going to review it and I'm going to give it to you. With that said, guys, I really appreciate you. Till the next one, I am out. So guys, you didn't tell me that I forgot to do the sound system test. Now it's already even late, but we remembered on the way. So we have to, as I said, you can spec it separately. if you don't get that Premium Plus package that costs 142k, you will pay 26,000 rands, I think, for the Burmester. And 17 speakers in here, as compact as it is, that's something that you love about it. And 660 watts. I mean, yeah, let's just play it. And that's how it goes, man. It reminds me so much of the GLC, which I've indicated that it is my best Burmester setup, despite what we got in the E-Class on the 4D sound system and so on. This, for me, it's like optimal. This is what I prefer in terms of the tones, the mids, the highs, and the bass. This is what I prefer. Of course, this is not your Bose and Wilkins level for my experience, but I wouldn't complain if I have something like this every day. Yep. Luckily, I remembered, guys. I'm about to get on to the N14. With that said, guys, I really appreciate you, man. And let me push, because I need to get home. It's late now. I'll miss dinner. Otherwise, hey, this pothole here, when? Yes, yes. Okay. I am out.